gloat over people's misfortune when they're down and when they're out, and when they need somebody, and when they and then boast about it. So we're not to boast about somebody being destroyed or being down, or when the disaster comes upon them. And so we shouldn't wait. We shouldn't wait at the crosswords to cut down their fugitives or hand them over to survivors in their day of trouble. Because God is a forgiving God, He's a compassionate God, and this is the message that God has given. He said, "The day of the Lord is near. As you have done, it will be done to you." And we was in the church Sunday. Pastor Myers talked about to do good to all people. He said, "You, God is not mocked. You reap what you sow." To do good to all people consistently, persistently. You are to do good to all people, especially the people of God. And Jacob was in the bloodline, and so was Esau. But at the time, Jacob was going through something, and his brother had been at war with one another, not with just Esau being at war with his brother, with these other nations. But he said, but God says, "One on Mount Zion will be delivered, and Jacob will possess his inheritance." Now, these people that were the people that were there with Esau, Esau had came to Jacob, and he actually wanted to destroy his brother for stealing his birthright. And so sometimes we could have things back in our past where people can actually try to steal your birthright. They can actually try and to stop you from getting your blessing or getting your inheritance that God has promised you from the beginning of time. And God says, "I knew you," in the book of Jeremiah, it says, "I knew you from the womb of your mother." So he knew Jacob and he knew Esau from the womb of their mother. And he knew that this stuff was going to happen because God knows all things. And so when Jacob came up, Esau came up against Jacob, he was coming up against not only his brother, but the people of God. He was coming up against the people of God, and he was coming up against God, because when you have favor with God, you're in the bloodline. And so Dr. Myers talked about having favor for generations to come. And a lot of times it's not just a favor from you, it's favor from someone in your family that broke that curse, that God had favor over. In the instance with David. David, the King David in the Bible, his family had favor because of the heart of David toward God. And so he said, "Your family will be saved and you will be saved." And so as a result of his heart for God, that was how the bloodline came down and trickled down to those that really didn't deserve or didn't have a heart for God. But he said, "I will save your family too, and I will have favor upon them." So God had favor upon Jacob as well as he had it on Esau. But because Esau had came up against his brother, he went ahead on and he said, "You will be destroyed. You will be destroyed, and you will not you will not go up you will not possess the land, and the people from the foothill will possess the land of the Philistines will possess it, and that they will occupy the fields of Ephraim and Samaria, and Benjamin will possess Gilead. The company of Israelites exiles, the Israelite exiles who are in Canaan will possess the land as far as Zarephath. The exiles from Jerusalem who are in Sepharad will possess the towns of Negeb." Now, this all points to today, in times that we have today, with Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, who was going for impeachment. And he thought that he would never come down. He thought that nobody could bring him down to the ground. He's got these Trump towers, and he's got all of these things going on. He didn't never accept the fact that he lost the election. and that millions of people voted above him for President Joe Biden and for